The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of Golden Boot. It's your boy Pooh. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. Emphasis on the Petty tonight. How you doing, my man?
I'm gonna let you handle that.
Okay. All right. Hope everybody's doing well. Wonderful evening. I missed football already. I know we still got NFL. We've had the Army Navy game yesterday. Shout out to Nick. I missed football.
Yeah, man. It's
almost start singing Master P on the way. How could it be? Somebody took the season from me.
It just don't feel the same.
The best plays are gone. And now I'm all alone. I really miss the kick off. So when it was at the clock. Anyway, just gotta talk about it, man. Compare a few things. But before we get to that, man, you know what we gotta do. We gotta get a shout out to our sponsors.
BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hey, we are back. Want to thank everybody who's tuning in, watching this show. We could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. What's good, Nick? Hey, we'll talk. We're gonna talk. it feels like somebody trying to prevent me from doing what I want to do or what I want to say. I'm gonna take it as a sign. Listen, I do want to start off. Let's talk, saying on a good note though. Let's talk about the Heisman ceremony as a whole. In the awards period. We saw that Jayden won, Dave O'Brien, he won the Walter Camp Player of the Year award. He didn't win the Maxwell, Michael Penix Jr. And people kind of question the Walter Camp. They're trying to figure out because Michael Penix was listed as the I guess first team, but Jayden was the overall player of the year. Yeah, so people were trying to figure that out. Did you? Because I was trying to explain last night, but I couldn't really wrap my head around it. Do you have a?
No, I have no explanation. I have no explanation for that. It don't make sense to me how you could be the player of the year but not be first team at your position.
Yeah. Another thing that people were kind of up in arms about, and rightfully so, Malik Neighbors lost the Biletnikoff by 1 vote to Marvin Harrison Jr., who, again, Marvin Harrison Jr. is outstanding player, fine player, but didn't necessarily have the numbers that Malik had. And people say, they make several arguments for it, said that well, Marvin Harrison did what he did with a worse quarterback. So
yeah, and then I myself made this statement that maybe it was because it was like a career achievement award type deal for Marvin Harrison. But if you pull up their career stats, it's pretty close. I mean, it ain't like Marvin Harrison just got much better numbers than Malik Neighbors. I mean, Marvin Harrison for his career has 155 catches for 2,600 yards, 2613 and 31 touchdowns. Malik Neighbors got 186 catches, 2,980 yards, and 21 touchdowns. So Marvin Harrison got him on touchdowns, but everything else is in Malik's favor. So I mean, you can't even say it's a career achievement award because if that's the case, Malik still deserved it over him. So I think it's more so due with the name and the fact that he was pretty much the only thing in Ohio State's offense. Versus if you look at what Malik did, you got BTJ who kind of shined as well and kind of maybe took away some of what it was that Malik was doing in a sense.
First off, shout out to everybody tuning in again. I'm Entourage. Hey fellas, I told y'all JD5. Yeah. Willie said he tuned in from Dallas. What's good, Willie? Willie, we're gonna talk about it a little bit tomorrow, but I need y'all to get y'all coach so we can talk about that. But yeah, but Willie tuned. He said that's a homer vote. Leslie, who I think is spot on. It boils down to voters aren't qualified.
Did you know that Jayden Daniels was left off like 120 something Heisman ballot?
Dumb. When you've got the numbers that he has, how do you get left off? How? I need to know. Nick said, "No, it ain't OSU respect thing," because Willie said it was about they respected them more. He said it ain't a respect thing; it's a name, Marvin Harrison. I agree.
Yeah, I think that plays part of it too.
Yeah. Okay, Willie. All right. I agree with one of those names. I hadn't seen the other one yet, but that'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. With that said, man, let's get to the Heisman ceremony, the trophy ceremony. It was every year they do a great job of the program. It's boring as all get out. Only thing we want to hear is the name of who won.
I don't know why they make it an hour-long ceremony.
It can be 30 minutes. If that. Like I know they like to recognize the, saying those that are in attendance. For a minute, I felt like they was disrespecting my boy, Ricky Williams. It felt like they talked about Charlie Ward and then the other gentleman that was next to him, the guy from I think he was from Oklahoma. They talked about them, and Ricky was just sitting there, and then they came back later and talked about Ricky Williams.
I think they did that because he was the silver anniversary guy for this year.
Gotcha. But it was interesting, man. The stories that you hear about the players and stuff. Did you hear anything that was just kind of interesting? Like, oh, that's a good story, or anything like that, or anything that makes you?
Honestly, I didn't need to hear none of that, bro. All you had to do was tell me who won, bro. That's what we was there for.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like all the, and I get the Heisman is so quote unquote prestigious. I kind of would have won them all on the same night. Get it over with.
I get why the Heisman separate.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like they don't have to make it an hour-long ceremony, bro. Like they just drug it out for no reason. It was actually longer than an hour by the time he got up there and gave his speech and everything. So it's like,
yeah. Let's talk about the speech, because that's going to actually lead to the next part.
You talking about the not elegant speech?
Yeah, let's talk about that. The speech. How'd you feel about the speech? Or what stood out to you about the speech?
Well, for somebody who was shy,
you
could tell Jayden a shy guy. I thought he did well in delivering the speech.
Yes.
I liked the little few jokes he had in there, about like his dad wanted him to play cornerback. You know what I'm saying? Just a few little jabs he had in there. The joke about the receivers being like Waffle House. And so I just think he did a good job delivering it. I like the fact that he thanked the janitors and the everybody the thankless people with the thankless jobs. Man, I think he did a great job though of kind of just capitulating everything that you that kind of made him. You know what I mean? Like he's a humble dude, so he came across as a humble guy, and then you could tell he's very faith driven. First thing he did was give thanks to God. You know what I mean? I think he did a good job of putting himself out there.
Right. That led to two things, this speech. I agree with everything you said. I think he thanked just about everybody he could think of. People that if I was doing a speech, I may have forgotten. He thanked even to the very end, thanking Greg Brooks and Brooks family and the inspiration he said that they provided for him, being steadfast and continuing their faith, and hoping Greg gets better. All that I completely enjoy. It stood out to me. But then there are some that did not like his speech.
They crawfished quick.
Say what?
They crawfished quick on that.
Oh, trust me. Scott Rabelais.
You got some backlash and crawfish quick.
Scott Rabelais came out and I wish I should have pulled it up. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it real quick. Basically said this.
Don't even give it no more attention, bro.
I ain't gonna read. Well, I'll just make sure I honor his words. But basically said it wasn't elegant. It was a good speech. It wasn't elegant. One thing I can say, when Joe did his speech, it made me emotional. But I think I was emotional for a different reason. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was the first time I had ever seen an LSU, a team that I enjoy watching. First time I saw them win a Heisman. I know I've got some friends that are, Alabama fans. They were kind of emotional when Mark Ingram won it. So it's understandable. But now, with Jay winning, I was more elated. I was more happy about it. So to see and hear somebody come out and be like, and kind of take a jab at the speech when he did so much, thanking, it seems stupid to me. It seems out of touch, and it's I'm not gonna say elitist, but it was definitely
it was out of touch for real though, bro. Yeah. Like, and it was unnecessary. Like, for you to make that statement, for like, why we even critiquing the speech? You know what I mean? Like,
oh, don't worry, it gets worse than that. The critiques get worse than that. Trust me.
But I mean, like, I can understand critiquing his play. I can understand critiquing all this other stuff. But you critiquing a speech, bro? Like, it just seemed to me like you just looking for something. Like, you're just looking for something to talk about, bro. And you reaching because not elegant. Nobody asked for him to get up there and be some kind of public speaker. You know what I mean? Like, we just asked for him to be him, and that's what he gave us. So it just seemed like that was an attack at him more than it was a critique of his speech.
Yes. It didn't stop there because the speech was the first thing. Saw today.
Oh yeah. This was crazy.
People were.
I saw that last
Jayden
night though.
About his outfit, his jacket, because the inside of his jacket had the photograph of him when he did the Heisman on the sideline, and it was just kind of printed over and over in the inside of his jacket. People were complaining, "Oh, that's selfish. He's selfish. He's all about him. He needs humility." That's ironic. Everybody who was saying that was Washington fan, pretty much, because Michael Penix had the name of his teammates on the inside of his jacket. Nobody said anything about what Bo Nix was wearing, or nobody said anything about Marvin Harrison and stuff. He didn't do anything with LSU. What does that have to do with it? One was a LSU fan. Say, "Oh, he didn't wear anything about with LSU. Why?" And the reason I say why, it's for two reasons. 90% of every interview I've ever seen him in, he's wearing a Greg Brooks shirt. Where everybody stopped wearing the Pray for Greg Brooks shirt, he was still wearing it. Pray for 3. He always talks about Greg Brooks. He always talks about his teammates. He's always giving, kudos and shout outs to his teammates. But they want to talk about one outfit for one night. First people he thanked God. What was the second group of people he thanked, Ant?
His O-line.
That's real selfish. He talked more about, as a matter of fact, he talked more about LSU staff and everybody else. And then he stopped and he thanked his parents. And then he thanked Greg Brooks' family. But you want to talk about selfish.
My thing is, it ain't like he went out there and bought that suit and put himself inside the line. Like, those suits are given to them people, man. Like, if you really, people just looking for stuff to argue about. People just looking for stuff to, you know what I'm saying, make a big deal about, bro. Like, Washington fans upset that they knew that, Michael Penix probably wasn't gonna win the Heisman. So They found something else to critique Jayden on, bro. That's all this is, bro. It's just people looking for something to talk about. But I just found it ironic that Penix had the name of all of his teammates on his jersey because they're the reason he was there for the Arizona State game, the Arizona game. So I mean, it's kind of fitting that he had his there, but I just feel like we just looking for stuff to talk about, and it's getting to the point to where it's getting beyond petty, bro. You know what I mean? It's getting
it ain't got petty enough yet. I'm gonna take it though.
It's getting to the point to where you really starting to attack people's character based off frivolous stuff that has no meaning whatsoever.
You know, to say something like he didn't have represent LSU in his outfit, in his wardrobe and stuff. It's interesting, considering that when he first got to LSU, many dogged him out. People talked about, why we need this guy. He can't throw the intermediate pass. Remember that argument in the sprint? He can't throw the intermediate pass. He was 10 for 10 in his final season. We already have we've got Brennan and Nuss. They're good enough. We don't need the running quarterback. Our first episode, ironically, we talked about Will Wade, Jayden Daniels. When we talked about the dog whistles, was talking about we don't need a dual threat quarterback. We don't need a running quarterback. I got so tired of hearing he's a running back playing quarterback. Y'all talked about that man so much, and at the end of the day, he still thinks. I say y'all. This not everybody, but I tell you what, hurt dog gonna hollow. So he talked about LSU fans and the support he received from them. All the bull y'all talked about to the point to where his mama was in spaces listening, letting y'all talk y'all crap. And then when she got up there and said, "Hey, not everything you're saying is true. This, and this," and she laid out, she never attacked anybody personally. Never. But she laid it out. Y'all got quiet though. And then wanted to take that and run back to Arizona State with it.
Yeah, trying to allow an Arizona State fan to try to paint her as some negative, you know what I'm saying, some kind of angry mom or something like that, when all she's doing is defending her son to the point to where she's not letting you tell lies about him. She was just
the crazy part about it. You know what she said about Arizona State? We thank Arizona State for the time we were there, and the things we'll do, but we felt like it's time for him to move on so he can do better.
Yeah, man. It's just funny to me how, like, people talk about him being selfish and not humble and not all this, but he thanked the same people who badmouthed him. Like, if that don't tell you what type of character the man got, I don't know what does. He could have easily left LSU fans out his speech, but he mentioned them by name, LSU fans by name, pretty much as a collective group, and thanked them for going hard for him, pretty much. So I mean, he had to be the bigger man to do that, because if somebody like me would have easily left y'all out,
I would have added that. I would have aired it out because I'm just that petty. And I want to say this. Last night I kind of mentioned in spaces, I wanted to be that person that goes down name by name. And if you notice the background of the graphic, let me pull it up for you. If you notice the background of the graphics, it's some of the things that, you know what I'm saying, LSU fans around college football have said about Jayden. If you notice, I took the names out. I could have easily left y'all names in there. But a lot of people were deleting bookmarks and stuff deleting stuff last night because they knew them bookmarks was marked. A lot of people start blocking people when they start calling them out for some of the things they said. And a lot of y'all being, and I'll say this, a lot of y'all being spaces, bigging up Jayden. Now, when y'all was just talking about him, dogging him out. Now, I will say this. I'm not talking about critiques of like, hey, I need him to throw downfield. Hey, I need him to be more accurate. Hey, I want to see him do a little bit of this more. I'm talking about all the stuff of, saying he's terrible. He's the worst quarterback. He's nothing but Jordan Jefferson all over again. I thought they said we had a good quarterback. He ain't nothing but a running back. All that stuff.
He need to play receiver.
He need to play. The man went out and threw for 300 yards. And somebody said, man, if he was a receiver, I bet he'd be real good. Yep.
I remember whenever the beginning of the season, there was talk about him being a Heisman. And then the first game, he goes Florida State, has over 400 total yards. The defense is the reason we lose. And people come out here talking about he ain't good enough to be starting. We need Nussmeier out here. His name shouldn't even be in the conversation with Heisman. And next thing you know, halfway through the season, those same people are the main people pushing the JD5 for Heisman train.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny to me how people switched up. A lot of the quote-unquote media switched up. You know what I mean? They were calling for Brennan to be the starter. Then they were calling for Nussmeier to be the starter. They were calling for JD5 to be benched during last season. Calling for Nussmeier to start during the spring and summer this season.
All we need is
benched.
All we need for him is to stick around long enough till Walker Howard get ready. Remember that conversation? We just need him to stick around this year, leave, and then Walker Howard gonna take over.
Yeah, man, it was but all right, so you ain't gotta put it up there, but it ain't just like it's us too though, bro. You know what I mean? Like it's people that look like JD5 that's been some of the main people down in him. So I ain't even gonna make it seem like it's just a race thing, but I'm sure that's part of it for some people. But like it's been people that look like him bashing him, some of the loudest people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like you can't even play that card as the big, as the main factor, because I don't even think that's it.
I agree. I've heard several times people say that, and I'll say this. We brought up mention of race before, because some of it was racially motivated. I'm not saying, we're not saying that. And when we brought it up, people, they didn't say it directly to us. They went into their other little chat groups, and I could call people out by name. But again, this ain't that kind of show. But they went in other little chat groups and said, I'm tired of them always bringing up race. He was like, yeah, it seems like anytime anybody disagrees, it's about race. Don't worry. We get those messages. We find out when y'all say stuff like that. People tell us. We know. But I just want to let y'all know that when y'all do stuff like that, when you talk about people, that just fuels. And I hope you feel lower than dirt for somebody to win an award, and all of a sudden you switch up and it's all this fake love, and you want to be, you want to be so emotional and crying and telling everybody how much you've always supported this person when we got receipts showing you haven't. But it's funny that you want to do all that now, and then he still come out and thank you for your support, knowing that that's not what you've always been doing.
Right.
So yeah, just like I said, hey, check your zipper. You know what I'm saying? The real you is showing. So,
but my thing is like, I ain't saying people don't have a right to critique play. You know what I mean? But my thing is, be careful how writing off a player so early in his career, because you never know what they could turn out to be. Like people were saying that he could make an improvement like Burrow, and then people, LSU fans, some LSU fans, oh no, that's impossible. He'll never become Burrow. He'll never do that. He'll never be able to jump. He'll never be able to make a jump like that. He'll never be able to make an improvement like that.
Hold on.
And then
So
the next thing he does is come out and have a season just as good, if not better, than Burrow.
do you remember this summer? I did a blind comparison. I just put the numbers up, and people, saying, why do we always got to compare? I'm not saying he's going to be Joe Burrow. I'm just saying that to show that Joe Burrow improved. This was his stats in year one. He improved. And Rick, I understand what you're saying. He said, I don't think it's the race car as much as it is people expect every quarterback to be as good as Joe Burrow. JD5 in his first year didn't take enough chances throwing the ball downfield. BK told him that he had to think of the play as 3rd and 12 and not 1st and 10. And I understand. That's fair.
He didn't throw the ball enough downfield last year. But just because he didn't do it, people were making it seem like he couldn't do it. And that's the difference. Just somebody not doing something and not being able to do something are two totally different things. People made it seem like he was unable to do these things just because they didn't see it from him. But nobody questions Joe Burrow's ability to throw the ball downfield in 2019 when you didn't see much of that in 2018.
Yeah. And Rick, when I say we was talking about that, it's not necessarily just the people. It was things of saying we don't want to do with the quarterback. We want a quarterback that's more like Walker Howard. Well, what is his skill set? Walker Howard runs. He's a dual threat. Joe Burrow was a dual threat. It just so happens that Jayden is a better runner than those gentlemen were, and apparently he's a better passer. Not saying he's a better passer than Joe. Don't nobody go ahead and what's called, but I'm just saying
he's a better passer than people gave him credit for. That's for
a lot better passer, especially when you start looking at the adjusted completion percentage when they start removing drops and stuff. So yeah. And that's absolutely correct. He says, remember that most fans are done with football playing experience. Yeah, little football playing experience. Yeah, so I'm not gonna say dumb, but I ain't gonna disagree with you. You're right when you're right. Nick said he moonwalked real fast. But with all that said, there's still a lot to love about Jayden, and I want to give him his flowers because he does not or did not get enough of it, in my opinion. I want to look at things like his stats. We talked about it. If I'm not mistaken, at this point in time, Jayden is leaving LSU as the number 2? Number 2, like passer and history, LSU history.
It might be. I don't know.
I have to go back and look at the numbers. I do know this. He's done a lot of things that nobody's the 350 and 200 is him by himself. A lot of stuff, a lot of those lists or accolades that Jayden got, he was the only person to do them. As a starter at LSU,
he's number 4 all time in terms of total passing yards.
Okay.
He's number 3 all time in passing touchdowns. I don't know where he at in terms of total touchdowns.
Yeah, or total yards. I'm sure he's probably up there. So,
he's number 11 all time in rushing touchdowns. He's got more rushing touchdowns than Billy Cannon.
That's wild. That is wild. Over his career at LSU, if I'm not mistaken, it's 19 as of right now. 19 as a starter, 19 wins, 7 losses.
Yeah,
as a starter, 19-7. Rick, I think you asked earlier about whether he was gonna has he announced about the bowl. I don't think he has. It was assumed that he wasn't going to play but I don't know. I think they're trying to convince him. We know Malik said he was going to play at least to get the record, or try to play to get the record. I don't know if he plays the whole game. I would love to see him come out, the crew come out and play the first half against Wisconsin, and then turn it over gradually. You know what I'm saying? Get other players in.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Jayden playing the first quarter and then riding off in the sunset after he helped Malik break that record.
That's strong.
I get it though. I get that mindset.
Yeah.
There ain't really nothing for him to play for, really.
Yeah. This ain't bad. Nick said hot take, but I fully expect Nuss to contend for a Heisman. His arm talent is amazing. Yeah, I won't expect it next year. I think I do say he's light years ahead of where Jayden was, because he's been in this system. He'll be in there 3 years now. Has he learned enough to start making those better decisions?
I mean, it's his third year and getting developed. He will be in his third year getting developed by Sloan and then Brock.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't gotten better in this decision making by then, I don't know if he ever will. I mean, we talked about it last night in Twitter Spaces. You look at the improvement, and I think you're the one who brought it up. Look at his improvement from last year and from the Southern game to the Georgia game,
right?
And his decision making and how much he improved. So I mean, you got to imagine with another year and another training camp in summer or spring and summer, you know what I mean, you got to assume that he will be a lot more improved than with last time we saw him.
Yeah, big facts. So let me ask this question. We now have 3 Heisman at LSU. We didn't see Billy Cannon. Chuck might know, dropping here and tell us some Billy Cannon stats. But we didn't see Billy Cannon play, but we watched Joe and Jayden. And what was more impressive, the season that Joe had or the season that Jayden had?
Ooh, that's tough.
Let me put it. Let me because this. I mean, of course, one is a championship, so it's hard to do that. But let me bring that into focus. Let me do this. Which is more impressive, the jump from year 1 to year 2 by Joe, or the jump from year 1 to year 2 by Jayden?
That's even harder, in my opinion. To answer your first question, I think Burrows was more impressive because of the amount of tough teams that he faced that year that he had to go through. Like, how many teams was ranked in the top 10 whenever we played them that year?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the road he had made it more impressive. But I think Jayden's was more difficult, if that makes sense.
Very fair. Very fair.
I don't think what Jayden did, I think was more difficult to do. And I think it's less likely you'll see somebody do what Jayden did than you'll see somebody do what Burrow did, if that makes sense.
If I'm not mistaken, Burrows was snapped the next year by Zappy.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna see nobody run for 1,100 yards and throw for 4,000 yards again. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I putting up running back 1 and quarterback 1 numbers. I mean, you ain't gonna see that again. But what Burrow did against tougher competition, I think, is kind of more impressive. Makes it more impressive, I guess.
All right. Yeah.
Okay, look at Rick with some numbers.
Okay. Rick says the one reason that I want JD5 to play in the bowl game is that he is 4th in total touchdowns in a season in SEC history. 1 is Burrow with 65, 2 is Tebow with 55, Newton at 51, Jayden at 50. If he throws or runs for a total of 6, he and Burrow will be number 1 and number 2 in history.
6 touchdowns is a lot, though.
You know, I mean, and against Wisconsin, I ain't trying to doubt, you know what I'm saying? But
because 6 touchdowns would be him playing the whole game, which I don't really think that's it.
I think he can get in the half.
To his point, he gets 6.5.
I think he can get in the half.
Come on, bro.
Hey, remember the last time we did this?
He number 2. he number 2. That was in 4 quarters, bro.
Hey, I told you. I said they will score on 7 straight possessions.
Yeah, but you didn't say 7 straight possessions and a half.
That's just I didn't say it half, but I'm just saying it's possible.
No, it's not.
Okay.
That boy ain't finna go score 6 touchdowns, and he ain't get the ball enough to score 6 touchdowns in a half.
How many did Joe throw for in the first half?
That was a different time when you didn't have the offensive clock running the way you had the offensive clock running now.
That's fair. That's fair.
But he number 2 all time in total offense.
Okay.
I mean number 3. My bad. He number 3. He need like 200 yards to pass Tommy Heisman to be number 2.
Okay. That's gonna be a poll question too about the what was more impressive, the jump from 1 to 2. I mean, from first season to second season.
Yeah, I don't think he plays in the bowl game though, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think he does either, but if he does play, does that just add to the lore, or is it just like if he didn't play?
If he don't play, man, they better not say nothing about him not playing, bro. That man done gave you everything that he could give you this season, bro. Like, let me tell you this. Okay. If he don't play in a bowl game, there better be about the same amount of outrage as people gave Garrett Nussmeier for not playing in the bowl game years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Since everybody understood why Nussmeier didn't want to play, y'all better understand why Jayden don't want to play, if that's his decision.
So here's the thing about that, because I've debated about that a lot. How many games did Nuss play in this year?
Not 4.
And if he played in the bowl game, that will probably be 4, right? So technically, that was my argument the entire time. He played in that bowl game. You can make up for it in other games, like later on. So,
yeah.
Who was the last non-scholarship quarterback to throw? Yeah, but yeah, it is John Trey Kirkland. But
he was not a scholarship quarterback. He was a scholarship wide receiver.
That's true. He said bowl games don't count anymore against the red shirt. I'm just saying, then it did. It would have counted then, but
yeah, I wouldn't. If I'm a league, I play just to get 22 yards and then I'm out. Like, hopefully you give me that on the first drive and then I'm done, bro. Yeah. If I'm BJ, I don't suit up. Brad Crackthorpe. That's an interesting one there. And if
do we not? So let me ask you a question, because you gotta tailor this, because I was thinking John Trey too. So do we not? So are we saying only a quarterback?
Walk-ons?
Yeah, was last walk-ons? Because that's kind of, I think that's a trick question, Rick. You got a trick question going. So,
Jason said Malik shouldn't play. I get the argument.
I understand too,
but if you Malik and you don't have a Bolitnikov, like you got.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can see Malik playing that whole game and slap the you know what off. I wouldn't necessarily want him to, but I can see him doing that just because he has that mentality.
But all I'm saying is, like, if it's me and I didn't get the Biletnikoff, like, I'm at least going to get the record.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I'm at least leaving LSU with something to say I was the best.
What Denzel Washington said, I'm leaving here with something.
You ain't, yeah, you ain't lying. I'm leaving here with something.
Here with something.
I'm from around the way.
I can see that. Let me ask this: expectations moving forward for
I feel sorry for Nussmeier. Because he already had high expectations before this season, just because of what people saw versus Georgia and what people think he can be.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got to turn around and follow a Heisman Trophy winner. That's big shoes to fill for somebody who's already got a lot of expectations.
I just want to say it already broke one quarterback.
But see, this the thing. We didn't even know what Miles was whenever it quote unquote broke him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was just potential. We hadn't seen him. We've seen us. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so there's even more expectations for Nuss because we've seen glimpses of it. So I think it's worse than Miles.
We saw more of a glimpse. I think we saw Miles though, but we just didn't necessarily. We saw Miles against
Nuss. Not like Nuss.
That's what I'm saying. We saw a lot. We saw enough of Nuss to say, okay, he got something. But Miles, we saw Miles against Troy. We saw Miles against Vanderbilt. We saw Miles against Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm talking, but we didn't see Miles like we saw Nussmeier versus Georgia, and like,
yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying, and I agree.
In the whole fourth quarter versus Alabama, pretty much. You know,
the whole Arkansas game.
Yeah,
one drive.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So like, we've seen more of Nuss than we had seen of Brennan, and the expectations were a lot higher for Nuss than they were for Brennan at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. What is JD5's place in LSU history?
I mean, he's the second best quarterback, and the only reason he ain't tied for first is because Joe got the trophy.
Let me ask this, and I understand that he doesn't have the trophy. Where can we rank him as? Like, because remember we had to talk about best athlete.
What you mean by best athlete?
We had to talk about who's the best athlete to come through LSU and stuff. Can we put him up?
He ain't got the trophy, man.
Okay.
Like when you look at the people who brought championships here, you know what I mean? Like, you got to put Burrow there. You got to put the Bregmans there. You know, you got to put Simone.
Bregman ain't win us a championship.
I thought Bregman won. No, not Bregman.
Cruz.
Yeah, that's
Cruz
what I meant.
and yeah.
Yeah, Cruz. Simone Augusta. Well, she didn't win a championship, so
Reese.
And yeah, but I mean, Simone at least went to the Final Four. You know what I mean? Like, Jayden won a Heisman, which is huge, but that's more individual than team. So it's tough.
But hold up, wait. I'm glad you said that, because you're talking about the greatest athlete, but they didn't win the Natty. But Natty is more of a.
That's what I said. He in the top 4.
Yeah.
Because you got to put Pistol Pete up there, Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's tough competition.
All right.
That's tough competition. I don't know if he top 5. I say top 5. I don't know if he top 4. Because you got Burrow, Shaq, Dylan Cruz, and Pistol Pete is hard to beat. They all went number. Well, Cruz went number 2, but they all went like number one in their respective. You know what I'm saying? Like
Then you got think about like somebody like Shakari Richardson, who's got you know what I'm saying,
yeah,
Olympics and stuff.
I think Mondo would be over her though.
Mondo. So something to think about.
Then, well, if putting the high, if winning the Heisman put you at the top, then he at least top 3. Then
Yeah. Yep. So,
so Dylan Cruz won the Golden Spikes, which would be the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. Did Shaq win the Naismith Player of the Year? That would be the question.
I don't think he
I don't
did.
think he did. Brennan appeared in all 4 out of conference games in 2017, about half. Okay, Andrew, correct me then, bro. It just wasn't memorable then.
I don't think Shaq won. He's in the Naismith Hall of Fame, but he didn't win the Naismith Award in the.
Nope.
I'm looking. He won the Rupp Award, the Rupp Trophy in '91.
And he was Associated Press Player of the Year,
In
but he didn't
'91
win
too.
the Naismith.
Yeah. So.
Who won
Pistol
the
Pete.
Naismith in '91? Larry Johnson.
Grandmama.
Yep.
Hey, I used to.
Layton won it in '92.
Yeah. But I used to love that with the gold too. Grandmama. So, man, that's it. I got man. Final words on JD.
I'm just proud of him, man. For putting all the noise behind him, for going out and showing what he's capable of, silencing the doubters, and bringing the Heisman back, man. I would have never thought, if you would have told me in 2011 or 2013, whatever, that 10 years from now, LSU would have 2 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks within a 4-year period, I would have thought you was lying. But sure enough, here we are.
I want to say, first of all, Jayden, thank you. I've won so much money due to your heroics. I want to say thank you for, like you said, just putting that doubt and stuff behind you. Thank you, Miss Jackson. I remember like when we saw her at the Bama game, how like nice she was, at least to us. But nah, seriously, world class, genuine person, and I appreciate what he's done and making what would have been a miserable LSU season with saying how the defense played out, making it what would be a miserable season at least one to enjoy, giving us some kind of purpose and stuff. Because going to this bowl game is something that's not exciting, but at least the journey to get there was worth it. I'll say that. So that's it on that. We can move on, man. Talk a little NFL real quick.
We ain't got to.
Oh, but we must. The Saints won today, but did they really?
Who cares, man? Derek Carr had 37 passing yards in the fourth quarter, dog. Third quarter, late, whatever it was. I know he was like 10 or 15 for 37 yards and an interception. Pathetic, man.
Gail Benson.
Don't care.
She has found a way to pay two people millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And they have produced nothing for the city of New Orleans.
Who is that?
Derek Carr and Zion.
You can't put them in the same category, my boy. No, not even close. Not even close.
All right.
Not even close.
Not close?
Not even close. Not even close. Talking about different stratospheres.
Okay. Why you say that?
When Zion is healthy, he has showed us that he could be the best top.
Is he not healthy now?
Yeah, he out of shape. That's a different story. At time, when has Derek Carr ever showed you any kind of potential?
He hasn't. That's what I'm saying. He hasn't.
Zion hadn't shown you potential.
He's shown me potential. Zion has shown me
you a
potential.
lot more than Derek Carr then.
Okay. What is it? Okay, so showing me potential, and I said produced.
He's produced. Was the Pelicans not just what was the Pelicans last week?
Semifinal for the talking about for the in-season tournament. That's the first time in 4 years he's I ain't gonna say that.
He hasn't been healthy. That's my point.
Why hasn't he been healthy?
That's a different discourse. You can talk about his body, you can talk about him actually being healthy, but the Pelicans shutting him down for risk reasons. That's a different debate for a different story. The fact is, when he's been on the court, there's been times when he has produced. There has never been a time Derek Carr has produced as the Saints quarterback ever.
All right, I'll leave that one alone then. I'll leave that one alone. But either way, I think his millions being wasted on both sides.
Now you can say, is he overpaid? Yeah, that's true. That's a different story. Has he lived up to expectations? No, yeah, that's a different story. But to compare him to Derek Carr is that's too far there, bro. Because Derek Carr had 40-something yards today, dog.
I know.
Derek Carr went 30 possessions without scoring a touchdown, dog. Like, you can't compare Zion to that level of play. That's wrong. That's a little too far.
Hey, remind me, who did I want as quarterback?
You wanted Jameis.
Okay.
This dude said at least Carr tried. Man, nah, bro. I would rather him not try.
Carr said at least Carr tried. The Carr has.
I would rather him not try, bro.
I have to look at the stats, but I don't know if they do a football plus minus. But
man.
Say what?
The boy is terrible. And then his brother got the nerve to go on Twitter, and whenever he completes one pass, talk about some boo because Saints fans was booing him. Man, if y'all don't sit down somewhere, you got the nerve to act like you got a right to get up here and talk noise. Man, he threw a pass to a left tackle, bro. He threw a pass to the left tackle today. And you got the nerve to go on Twitter and talk noise like your brother actually out here doing something, man. Nick, where your sons
I'm not even gonna.
Nick, where your sons at?
Yeah. I will say the Suns.
You want to talk about my team? Themselves. But the Suns wasting millions of dollars for somebody who ain't even playing. How much y'all paying Bradley Beal? How much y'all paying Bradley Beal? Y'all went and got a super team and can't even win nothing. The Suns are a health issue. Boy, y'all can't win nothing. Y'all wouldn't pay all these hurt players. Bradley Beal ain't played in 5 years and y'all wouldn't pay him. Kevin Durant can't stay healthy. Y'all wouldn't trade it for him. Trade the farm for him. Man, you want to talk about my squad. Boy, stop it.
Other games. Oh. This I walked out the room and missed the end of the game.
Oh, Chiefs, the Baltimore Bills. Game?
Oh, no, Chiefs Bills. What happened?
They called offsides on Kadarius Toney on a play where they scored.
what they say, lined up outside.
Yeah. It was a clean play though. They threw it past to Kelsey. Kelsey came, latered it to him, and he ran in and scored.
And they said it was outside.
This dude gonna talk about my team, and his team is literally a half a game better than my team. A half a game better than my team. And y'all wouldn't spend how much money to be half a game better than the Pelicans?
Right now, Dallas. What's up, Miss Body? I saw Miss Body here too early. Dallas is putting a whipping on Philly right now, 24-6.
Oh yeah. Who the MVP right now?
I think it's two people in the running. Because I know Dak is one. Dak is definitely one. There was somebody else who I was thinking about. I was like, they should be in the running for MVP. CJ Stroud.
For MVP?
He should at least be in the conversation. He hurt now though.
For MVP?
Yeah. Okay, Dak, and who else? Who else would you have in the conversation?
Lamar Jackson over CJ Stroud.
I'm not saying that I'm not disputing that, but I think CJ should still be in the conversation.
I think CJ will be behind Dak, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. And he'd probably be behind Brock Purdy too. And he might be behind Tua. I mean, he having a good year as a rookie, but they not winning enough for him to be MVP.
That's the one thing that drives me nuts, because that came up in the Heisman conversation. If a player is balling out, but your team is still losing,
but that's a different story. He might win. He can win offensive player of the year, but MVP is a different story.
He definitely rookie offensive player of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Offensive
Offensive player of the year is for somebody who having a good year on the team that ain't winning necessarily. You know what I mean? But if you MVP, you got to be winning. Like offensive player of the year, yeah, that could be him. But
I'm glad you said that. Let me ask this question. I know this ain't Monday, but should the SWAT go to that? Go to because they had an offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, but it seems like lately it's just been going to the player on the winning team versus going to like the person who has the numbers.
That's just the way the voters voting on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I mean, that happens in the NFL sometimes too. You know what I mean? Like a dude have decent numbers on a good team, a dude have great numbers on a bad team, but the dude with the good numbers, I mean, decent numbers on a good team gets the award.
Yeah. All right.
Some of these voters just ain't qualified. That's what it came down to. That's really what it boils down to. You got voters voting on stuff that they haven't seen.
Yeah. Let me ask other games, NFL games that did you watch?
Did you see how that ended?
I didn't see how it ended. Last I saw it was like they were down.
Punt return. They was down. Lamar had to drive the field with like a minute and some left to score a touchdown. And they scored a touchdown, went for 2, sent it to overtime. And then overtime, they got the ball first, punted, and then when the Rams punted it back to them, 77-yard punt return touchdown to win the game.
Oh wow!
And then you also had a tie, a tie for the lowest scoring game in NFL history today.
I saw that. Yeah, the 3-0.
The 3-0 game. Yeah, that was.
Minnesota beat beat the Raiders 3-0.
Set the game back 100 years watching that game, bro.
Yeah.
No
team to score a touchdown is usually like plus like 10,000.
I think they say that's the first time this happened since 1943. That it, well, it didn't end in the tie. If it would have ended in the tie, going in overtime 0-0, that would have been the first time since 1943. So like you hardly ever see a game with no score that late into the game. But
Yeah,
I had Minnesota defense in fantasy, so shout out to me for that.
that's hilarious. Let me pull up some of these other games because I was in and out. Cincinnati starting to find a way to win some games.
Yeah, I seen that they won that running game. Had a good day today. Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who else. What we looking at? Where we at? Scores. Buccaneers beat the Falcons. Whoop de woo. Browns beat the Jaguars.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence didn't have a great game. You know, he was kind of banged up, but that the Browns ain't dead yet, even though they ain't got old nasty man Watson.
He's to call that old nasty man. The Broncos. Russell Wilson is
the Chargers
starting to Russell Wilson.
I wonder if the Chargers wish they would have fired Brandon Staley last year.
I wish nothing but bad on the Chargers since they got rid of Anthony. Golly, what's that coach name? Anthony Lynn. They had him 1 year and got rid of him, or two?
Two, something like that, yeah.
And got rid of him, yeah. Hey, bro, the Dallas Cowboys, who is this coach? Man, he looked like J.R. Smith with locks. You know what I'm talking about too, don't it?
Can't remember his name. I think he's a DB coach.
Yeah, he looked like J.R. Smith with locks. That dude, that'll be hell of a coach. He ought to get, like, with the way they secondary looks, especially with Trayvon Diggs out, the forced fumbles, the interceptions, the pick six, he should be like assistant coach of the year.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Real quick. I want to turn to the NBA real quick.
Of course, you want to talk about the NBA.
I mean, bruh.
I care about the in-season tournament, man.
Now you don't care about the in-season tournament? You was just, man, it's a good idea. You know what I'm saying? People act like they don't know, you know what I'm saying? They don't watch WNBA. If they watch WNBA, they understand.
I ain't watch it.
You stop watching it because what?
Actually, I didn't watch the Pelicans game that night that they got because we was doing a show.
Yeah, we was on the show. I tuned in after
that. That's why I went. Well, by the time we got off the show, there was no need for me to tune in.
You could have tuned in, like,
what?
Tried to will them to be. Yeah, it wasn't no stop. The Lakers look like they was.
I put myself through unnecessary pain on Sundays watching one team in New Orleans. I don't
even, bro. I don't even watch the
Hey man, look here, all y'all Laker fans, y'all can go on somewhere. It ain't my fault. Y'all good in these artificial tournament situations. All right, it ain't my fault. In these made up tournaments,
that's artificial tournament.
In these made up tournament situations, y'all want to go off and have good games. All right, it ain't my fault. And these made up tournaments, these made up championships, y'all are wonderful. Yes, y'all are the team to beat in made up
tournament. Oh, this is hilarious. It's hilarious.
Am I wrong? It's not a made up championship. I mean, like, Anthony Davis had the game of his life.
Yes, he did.
Last time he played that good was that other imaginary tournament that they had down there in Disney World.
Boy, I tell you, haters gonna hate.
And these non-NBA arenas, y'all had to go to Vegas to win a championship. And
Nick said the Lakers should have beat the Suns. They did beat the Suns.
Yeah, there you go with these pseudo tournaments.
Let me take that. Let me take that down. Let me make sure that don't buy into this foolishness. Liz, I will say the tournament was great.
Oh yeah, they cheated for the Lakers anyway. We all know that. That was how y'all call a timeout without the ball. We ain't gonna talk about that, huh?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
But listen,
you don't know what I'm
so-
talking about now, huh? I got your back, Nick. How y'all beat the Suns? LeBron called timeout with a loose ball. Ain't nobody had possession of the ball, and LeBron get a timeout.
Oh
call.
yeah. He was calling timeout before when he had the ball.
The NBA rigged this for y'all. Cause look, the day before the game, they already had a banner saying the Lakers was the in-season tournament champions.
They made banners and stuff like that for everybody. That's why
on their website. It was on their website. The banner at the top of their website said Lakers in season. He did not have possession of the ball.
He did.
You didn't even know what I was talking about. Now you want to say
I know what you're talking about now.
Man, nah, bro. I got the screenshot to show that he ain't had the ball.
You ain't have.
I got the screenshot.
I say this.
He ain't had the ball.
The Lakers look good, and I was like, man, I wonder how this translates going forward. How does this translate going forward? Then I realized the difference is that tournament was on Tuesdays and Fridays. So,
yep. Old man LeBron was rested.
He had rest because when they have back-to-back games,
that makes sense. That's a good point. I didn't think about it.
So, when they have back-to-back games, like in usually what they try to do in game one, they try to, get a big lead, let LeBron play like 20 minutes, sit him and AD, and then go to the next game and play those long games. I mean, let them play a little bit longer, but it hadn't really been working out like that. So
do it no more. Back to backs.
Yeah. Yeah, but nah, for real though. NBA, in-season tournament, I think it was a good idea, despite all the, what's good. Shout out to the folks, to our boys at the wild card. Laker fans over there too.
Fixing game like Paul Cruz.
What?
So y'all over there fixing games like Paul Cruz, man.
Nah, man. Nah. Going forward though, is the Golden State dynasty over?
Yeah. Unless they make a trade.
Who they need to get rid of?
Who they need to get rid of and who are they gonna get rid of is two different questions. They need to get rid of Clay. They're paying him too much money for the production that they get. But I think they would get rid of some kind of combination of Wiggins, Moody, something like that. I think that's who for like if they get a not Kuminga, if they could get Siakam, I could see them making that kind of trade. Clay is cooked.
Draymond too, but they gonna
they need him for defensive purposes only.
Yeah. Unfortunately not. Nah, I'm not that. I was planning on it, but I got I might be in Houston. So
hey, H-time.
Yeah, might be in H-time.
Clay, why would the Bulls do that? Why? Maybe Levine for Wiggins, but
who do you think what's his name?
Ja Morant.
Ja Morant. There you go. For those of you on the audio side, listen, I couldn't think of his name, so I had to do the gun signs. Ja Morant. He should be coming back. His 25 games is up.
I don't know if it matters. The Memphis sucks.
Yeah.
They missing Dylan Brooks and some of them people they had last year.
Which is weird to say.
Never thought I would have said that, but
yeah, that's what I say. It's weird to say.
Never thought I would have said that. But yeah, Memphis is not a great team. And I think like Steven Adams done, you know what I mean? They got
Yeah.
all these injuries.
I'm trying to think of who else is
Memphis
look.
is in 15.
There's do you think Indiana now I do think this like with the tournament and the success they had in the tournament, although they didn't win it, I do think Indiana is a team to watch going forward.
Oh yeah, Indiana was cold. They got a good build. I mean, last year they was last year toward the end of the season they was getting things cooking. You know what I mean? Then some of the deals they made in the off season, yeah, they definitely Halliburton is a
Yeah.
Halliburton is a dog, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah,
bro. I'm
and
hilarious.
the thing, the Nets could have got him for Ben Simmons. I mean, not the Nets. The Sixers could have got him for Ben Simmons, but they wanted Harden. Man, that's crazy.
You know what's funny? ESPN, if you go to it and stuff, like, and it talks about the teams, the players, like the players to watch. Miami Heat's got Jimmy Butler, and he got that emo look. He got
Yeah.
that out of his eye.
Hey, who they got that little Hispanic Jimmy? Hawkins Jr. That boy be balling. For Miami, that boy be balling.
Yeah. Trying to think who
Rookie of the year so far.
don't give me the line. I don't know.
Give me Chet.
Do they still because he didn't play last year, he's still considered. I can see it.
Give me Chet. And honestly, I say Asur Thompson over Wemby right now. The boy from Detroit. I put him over Wemby right now. That boy been up there acting a fool. He just played for Detroit.
Yeah. OKC make the playoffs this year?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They like number 2, 3 right now in the West.
All right. Since we're talking basketball, let's stay basketball. Let's talk about LSU's women's team. They played today, took on ULL. ULL. The game was tight.
Oh man, I forgot about that. Yeah, he right.
What's that?
Nick comment.
Oh,
but yeah.
I'm not. You absolutely right. I forgot about that too.
Oh man.
That is.
That's hilarious. But yeah, LSU women today, bro. They started off slow, man, real slow again. But Kim must have gave them a good tongue lash and cuss it out at halftime because they came out second half turned up and
my bad. I'm laughing at D-Lob.
But yeah, they
he said
turned up in the second half. Anissa had her double with 27 and 10. Angel had 20 and 9. So you know, the Twin Towers did their thing, but I just don't like all these slow starts they keep having.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, the slow start was bad. They went into the second quarter down, went into halftime tied, and they were just getting beat. They went on a big run in the third. I think they outscored them like 28-9 in the third quarter to take that one. So, first of all, boy, stop. I already know who writing. I already know who writing. That boy be drinking before he. What's Kendall know? I'm gonna call him, tell him to come take control. But
no argument for me.
Oh no.
I've said it though. I've said that though. Like I said it whenever we had that episode when talking about who we wanted, and I told you I wanted Nisa Morrow,
Yeah,
that she would be the best player on this team. Like,
yeah, yeah.
it ain't
And
no.
that's different though from saying saying. Never mind.
I get what you're saying, and maybe putting it, maybe that word is a little bit of a stretch,
Yeah,
but maybe not overrated. Maybe overhyped would be a better word.
okay. I might let me call. I want to get Kendall. Hey, that's
Maybe
definitely
overhyped.
that's
Maybe that
definitely a Smith type comment.
maybe overhyped would be the better word. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah. Now pause up. Morrow has proven her worth. Just waiting on Haley Van Lith to come out of hibernation. I completely agree.
I'm gonna wait.
I'm gonna agree. I will say,
Wait.
we knew coming in. Yeah, I knew who it was. I knew it. We knew. Well, you said in the beginning that you didn't want.
I didn't want Haley Van Lith. I come out straight up and say I didn't want Haley Van Lith. I wanted a true point guard. And that's not what she is. And that's why she's struggling. Because you trying to fit a round peg in a square hole. She's a scorer trying to be a facilitator. And that's not who she is. She's trying to change who she is. That's why she don't look the same. You can't expect Louisville Haley Van Lith on this team. It's not gonna work out.
Let me ask this because the I say it's the elephant in the room. You just mentioned the point guard situation. Just got word today, and Coach Mulkey said in the press conference, Kateri Poole is no longer with the team. I don't know why. So y'all, we can't answer that part.
Yeah,
But
she didn't give any reasoning why. She just said she's not with the team.
yeah, can't answer that part. But what I can say, or what I think can be said, is that she's missed. I think saying her contribution on the as a point guard, I think that's gonna be missed.
I agree. In a way.
Let me put her contribution as a facilitator.
Yeah.
Because now you're relying. I mean, because you just mentioned Haley ain't that, and they trying to force her to be. And now the only person you got is Paul, is
who should have been playing more anyway.
Agree.
But I think that's not the only person you got. You recruit these high level kids for a reason. You still got Velez, you still got Kent, you got these younger. They just gonna have to grow up earlier. That's I mean, right. the same is said of Del Rosario, who's got to grow up sooner because of the Samaya Smith injury,
which I loved her today.
Oh yeah, she played big, but now you asking these other freshmen to grow up earlier because of the Kateri Poole situation. That's why you recruit at a high level.
Yeah. What else? Anything else about the game today?
Nah.
All right, I'm trying to think what else we got. Oh, we do got some bowl games coming up this week? Is it Saturday? Starting Saturday. Starting Saturday, we got some bowl games. But first, this is the part of the show when Nick find a way to leave. Um,
Oh, he ain't lying though.
Army Navy game.
Snooze fest.
But it's like that every year.
No, not like this, bro.
It started off kind of hot though. Army came out throwing, threw a touchdown pass. It was so crazy. The Army was throwing the passes. They lined up in a pass formation on goal line, and Navy just ain't even cover the dude.
That game, I don't know what it was this year about that game. It just didn't seem like the same excitement that I normally get from the Army Navy game. I don't know what it was about it, but for me, it just didn't have that same feel it normally does. In the second half, it kind of picked up a little bit, but the ending was wild. But
Goal line.
for some
That's
reason, yeah,
wild.
for some reason, it just didn't live up to what I thought it was gonna be.
You've been throwing the ball the entire game. I have never seen somebody 4th and goal from the 3 try to do a tush push, a quarterback sneak, a 3-yard quarterback sneak to try to win the game or tie the game up.
That was
I've
crazy.
never seen that.
That was crazy.
Wild.
That was crazy. Then getting the safety, that was
Which is funny because the line originally was 28. It dropped that morning to 27 and a half for some people. So that safety actually pushed the over.
Yep.
Vegas be known.
Bad beat.
That's a terrible beat. Because I was thinking about that. It was like all you had to do was roll out and throw it out of bounds.
Hey, speaking of bowl games, though, I had heard a stat. So there's like, I'm not mistaken, there's 39 non-playoff bowl games.
Mm-hmm. We can count them.
I mean, you
Let's see.
can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 this Saturday. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 39.
All right. There's 13 bowl games where both teams return or well, excuse me, not return. Well, there's 13 bowl games where both teams have their head coach, both coordinators, and quarterback for the bowl game. So 2/3 of the bowl games will have teams missing at least one component of their head coach, offensive, defensive coordinator, or quarterback.
That's wild. That is wild. Cream asks a good question. So, with the new playoffs coming next year, will there be any bowl games? Yeah, well, I get what I guess I get what you're saying. Yeah, though a lot of those are gonna be tied into the playoff.
Yeah, that's
some of these traditional bowls, like the you probably see something like the you'll see all the big bowls, what we call New Year's 6-day bowls, but you may see something like the Citrus Bowl now. Or the
Quest Bowl.
Say what?
The ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah, you might see something like that. But that's wild. 39 bowl games. That's a third. That's only a third.
Yeah.
No, actually, so no. That's not even a third. So you got 39. You said 39 bowl games. Yeah. So that's 78 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And only 13 of those teams.
No. 13 games of the 39 teams.
13. Okay, so that is okay.
And both teams would, you know what I'm saying? So
okay, yeah. So that is a third.
So there might be one game, for example, Well, like LSU, Wisconsin, right? Let's just bring that up, right? All right. If Wisconsin don't have a quarterback, if the Wisconsin quarterback would have hit the transfer portal, or LSU, Jayden Daniels don't play, then you can't count them. That whole bowl game don't get counted because both teams don't have everything.
Yeah. So D-Lob says I have a hard time seeing the relevance of a conference championship with the 12 teams. So the relevance is
Automatic bid.
automatic bid. Also, it might help you get a first round bye, depending.
It's
So
automatic show though.
conference. Yeah, it
But
gives you the.
that's what the buys go to though. The buys go to a conference champion.
See,
Can't
there you go.
buy unless you're a conference champion.
Yeah. So there you go. Now, conference championship matter. Now, I'm gonna tell you what doesn't. I want you probably gonna see a less of an emphasis on is ooh.
No, that'll just be the bowl games will just be for the second round going forward.
Yeah. Danny Girl asked, but aren't those first rounds going to be home field situations? So will the sponsors move the locations of their bowls? So
The first round games won't be bowl games. It'll just be the second round going forward where they played at a neutral site. That'll be a bowl game.
There you go. All right. I guess we go ahead and get to the wrap up so we can talk about some of this other miscellaneous stuff. All right, let's wrap it up. Haney versus Regis.
Boring fight. Regis got his ass beat.
I didn't even watch the fight. That's how. Did it go the distance or he got TKO'd?
Yeah, it went the distance, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't much to see.
What else we had? Because yesterday was a lot going on in the sports world. FCS playoff games. You watch any of those?
Nah.
I watched one Friday night. Furman versus Montana. That one was a good one. It came down. Furman scored with 10 seconds left to tie it up and go into overtime. They were getting ready to go for 2. Offensive lineman jumped all sides. So they ended up settling for the field goal and got into overtime and couldn't move the ball.
Damn.
Yep. Montana scored quickly, immediately scored for like 3 plays, touchdown, and then and Furman could not move the ball. So high school championships. Yeah. So Alabama wrapped up theirs on Friday. It was some big games. One came down the last second. In the 6A, Ryan Williams in Saraland took on Clay Chalkville. I forget who it was, but it was like the quarterback for Saraland is a Texas commit. Quarterback for Clay Chalkville is an Alabama commit. Of course, Ryan Williams is an Alabama commit as of now.
Man, we don't know none of these schools you be talking about.
So we don't know all of Louisiana stuff.
The people in the comments do.
They can listen, learn something. How about y'all sit back and learn something? But it came down to the last second. Paul's hub in here, came down to the last second, 4th down stop. Man, it was kind of like what we saw with the Army Navy. Because he mentioned up there, they were at the 8, ran a play, and the quarterback took off running, 4th and goal.
Oh yeah, I saw that play, and he fumbled the ball.
Fumble at the 1. So yeah. It was another game. Kid sealed the game, one-handed interception. On the side, yeah. Tell us about Louisiana.
All right, so first game was I don't even remember. I know Oak Grove was the second game. They ended up winning over Haynesville. Who was the first game? I don't even remember. But then Southern Lab won. Chad Jones Jr. Plays for Southern Lab. He a sophomore. He had some big plays in that game for them. They ended up winning. LCA lost. Jawan Johnson had a hell of a game, but not enough as they lost to St. Thomas More. Catholic beat Acadiana pretty bad. Ruston beat Zachary, even though Tradez Green went off and had like 98 yards receiving on like 7 catches and a touchdown. Grown man out there. But they ended up losing to Ruston. Calvary Baptist with the comeback of our comebacks. St. Charles Catholic went for it on 4th down instead of punting the ball. They didn't get it. And it was like a minute left on the clock, and Calvary went down and scored to win the game. That's LSU recruit James Simon, the running back. He was the most outstanding player of that game. He had like 190 yards on 30 carries. But to me, the best game was the Union game. Union came back late, scored a touchdown with 12 seconds left. Went for it, went for 2, got it to win the game. Their first championship since 2013. They went to this is their 4th straight championship appearance, and so they were about to set the record for most losses in a row, consecutive losses in the state championship game, but they was able to pull it out. So yeah, it was some good games this weekend. A lot of LSU commits and targets having big games and showing out down there on the Superdome.
All right. Biggest surprise from y'all's?
Biggest surprise? Oof. I don't know. That's a good question. Probably the Union beating St. James. I don't think too many people gave Union a chance in that one. But they pulled it off, and that would probably be, I would say, the biggest surprise.
Okay. What about the Ruston over Zachary?
Yeah, that was pretty big too, but Ruston was the higher seed in that one. So, I think it wasn't as big of a shock. But I think winning by two scores, like the way they won, I think might be a little more surprising than the fact that they actually won.
Yes, I am, Nick. A lot of people don't know. Yeah, I am. I'm born and raised and still stay. Yep.
We don't go against them, Nick.
Technically, I'm closer to Tennessee now. I've actually lived closer to other states than I have to. Never mind. I mess with Chris about Bay St. Louis, but yeah. Bron and James debut today,
and they lost.
But what did you think about his play?
I didn't even see it. I just know they lost.
I ain't see much of it. I do know, saying from everything I've gathered, seen highlights of, look like defensively he had a really good game. He didn't do much points wise. I think he had like 4 points. It was like 17 minutes. He had like 4 points, like 3 rebounds.
He's not gonna be a scorer. He's gonna be a guy like a defensive guy. That's what he's gonna make his name for right now.
Mm-hmm.
He a 3 and guy. He a 3. That's what he is. He a 3-and-D guy with
No,
his
that what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think everybody talk about Bronny. Bryce is going to be the one.
I've been saying it.
Bryce is going to be the one. Bronny is good. Bronny is going to have a decent. I think he can have a decent career. So he was like 4 points. He had a block, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. So said Drew Holiday is his comp to me at his best.
He better work on his scoring then.
Nick said his passes popped off the screen to him. I don't know. Like I said, I personally think Bryce is the one. Bryce gonna be what everybody. Oh, Devontae dropped that. I need the Eagles to come on the scope, man. Come on.
They ain't looking good for the home team. Well, they did a away team in this one, but
I don't need them to win. I just need them to score. Actually, I need them to lose. I just need them to lose by 9. He said, Khalil said he'll be better than MJ kids.
oh, that ain't gonna be hard to do.
I mean, they daddy in their life. Anyway, got anything else before we get ready to get up out of here?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
We got y'all almost 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 hours. That time flew by too. So we'll be back next week. Oh yeah, by the way, going back, you know what I'm saying, until is something to actually talk about. We're gonna be doing the one show. We'll be back next week. Hey, you want to talk about any of the games coming up?
The bowl games?
Yeah. Before we get up out of here.
Let's see. Let's see. Georgia, Southern, Ohio. Give me Ohio.
Hold on, I'm pulling them up too. Yeah, I take Miami, Ohio on that one too.
No, not Miami, Ohio. Georgia, Southern.
Oh, Ohio. Yeah, I'll take still. Either way, I'm taking Ohio.
Okay. Jacksonville
State.
ULL.
I got Jack State.
Me too. Appalachian State, Miami of Ohio.
Give me Miami of Ohio.
See, I wanted to go there because they got a good defense, but give me App State.
App State hadn't looked good.
That's fair. New Mexico State. No State.
New Mexico State.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, give me Jeremy Kill. Yeah.
UCLA, Boise State.
Boise State, they got a quarterback. At least they know who their quarterback is.
And UCLA lost their defensive coordinator also. Cal, Texas Tech.
Cal. I hate to say it like with Cal. I thought Texas Tech would be something else, and they have. Yeah.
Well, there we go. That's the games this weekend.
Yep, that's the game. Those on Saturday. Be back, talk to other games next week, and we'll move on from there. See if we got any news by then. But till next week, like that, we out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.